This is literally my life. You wake up before the sun, clock out long after it's gone, 2 jobs, sometimes 3, and still, the numbers never add up. Your rent climbs faster than your paycheck. Your grocery bill looks like a luxury purchase. Your car insurance jumps for no reason. Your student loan grows even when you pay it. You're doing everything you were told to do, and somehow falling further behind. And when you finally get sick, the hospital bill hits harder than the illness. One emergency, and everything you've built can disappear overnight. Meanwhile, the cities you grew up in, the places that once felt alive, now feel like they're rotting from the inside out. Boarded up stores, broken streets, people sleeping where they're not supposed to. A country full of motion that somehow feels stuck. This isn't just a bad month. This is everyday life for millions of Americans. America is the richest country in the world, but millions of people living inside it can't afford basic life. Not comfort, not luxury, just survival. How does that happen? How does a nation built on opportunity turn into a place where opportunity feels like a debt you'll pay forever? And the truth is, this wasn't an accident. You're not imagining it. You're not alone. The pressure you feel isn't a personal failure. It's the result of a system designed to squeeze, to extract, to keep you running just fast enough to stay exhausted, but never free. So why is rent rising faster than wages? Why does healthcare bankrupt more people than illness itself? Why are young Americans working more hours, but getting poorer every year? Why is the middle class disappearing? Quietly, steadily, predictably? These aren't random problems. They connect, and they all lead back to the same place. To understand this crisis, to understand why life feels harder every year, you have to understand the system built underneath it. A system you were never meant to see, but one you live inside every single day. This is bigger than you think. To understand why life feels harder now, you have to look back, because none of this started yesterday. There was a moment decades ago when prices began rising faster than people could keep up, not because the country got poor, but because the rules that governed daily life quietly changed. Policies were rewritten, regulations were loosened. Entire industries merged into giants. What used to be public good slowly became private opportunity, and what used to be affordable became something you had to borrow for. Housing, education, healthcare, transportation, insurance. Year after year, the cost curves all bend upward, not naturally, but intentionally, because every shift in pricing, every fee, every rate increase, every new service charge benefited someone, and it wasn't the people working full-time. Look at any graph of American life today, and you'll see the same pattern repeated everywhere. Prices go up, rent goes up, healthcare goes up, college tuition goes up, car insurance goes up, food goes up, everything rises. Except the one thing you actually live on, your income. Wages stay flat, savings disappear. Emergency funds don't exist. It's not your imagination. Your dollar buys less every year because the system behind the dollar wasn't built to protect you. It was built to extract from you. The cost of living isn't rising naturally. It's rising strategically. So the question isn't, why is everything so expensive? The real question is, who benefits when everything becomes expensive? And the answers lead to the same places. Banks, earning billions from interest you'll pay for decades. Insurance companies, charging more while covering less. Wall Street, treating housing, healthcare, and education not as human needs, but as investment vehicles. Corporations, raising prices faster than inflation, while posting record profits. Universities, building luxury campuses, while students drown in debt. Private equity, buying entire neighborhoods and pushing prices beyond reach. None of these institutions lose when life gets harder. They win. Every increase is revenue. Every struggle is leverage. Every crisis is opportunity. And the people paying the price are the same ones being told to budget better. This isn't luck. This isn't random. And it definitely isn't a coincidence. This is profit. A system engineered over decades to make sure the money flows upward and the pressure flows downward. What feels like personal failure is actually a business model. What feels like a crisis is actually someone else's income stream. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. This system doesn't just fail you, it feeds on you. Here's the part nobody ever explained. The system isn't broken. It's functioning exactly the way the people who built it intended. Take debt. When you borrow, you think you're just paying back what you owe. But the system doesn't run on what you owe. It runs on interest. Interest grows while you sleep. Interest grows while you work. Interest grows even when you pay. It compounds quietly, relentlessly, until your balance becomes something you live with for decades. Not a loan, a subscription. Then look at housing. Every time an investor buys a home, the price rises. When the price rises, rent rises. When rent rises, instability rises. And instability creates more opportunity for more investors to buy again. A loop, a machine, a self-feeding cycle. The same thing happens in healthcare. Hospitals charge, insurers negotiate, patients pay the difference, costs rise again. Everyone profits from the cycle, except the patient trapped inside it. Prior authorization, a phrase no other rich country uses, delays care, increases billing, and adds layers of cost that have nothing to do with medicine and everything to do with money. And rent? Rent doesn't just go up, it cycles. Higher rent forces people to move. Moving increases vacancy churn. Churn allows landlords to reset rents higher. Higher rents attract investors. Investors raise rents again. Another loop, another machine, another system running perfectly. None of these mechanisms malfunction. They accelerate. Because the modern American economy wasn't designed to make life affordable. It was designed to turn everyday life into one long revenue stream. Look anywhere outside the United States, and the contrast is blinding. Every rich country provides basic health care. Only America doesn't. Every rich country keeps tuition affordable. Only America doesn't. Every rich country prevents housing from becoming a casino. Only America doesn't. And yet America pays more, not a little more, but 2 to 3 times more, for outcomes that are worse. Shorter life expectancy, higher debt loads, lower savings, less stability, more stress, more risk, more fear of one bad month ruining everything. America spends the most to get the least because the money isn't buying results. It's buying profit. The machine doesn't stop. It recreates itself. In housing, investors buy, prices rise, renters suffer, instability grows, investors buy again, the spiral tightens. In healthcare, hospitals charge, insurers negotiate, patients pay, costs rise again. The cycle continues because people don't stop getting sick. In debt, lenders extend credit, borrowers struggle, balances increase, payments stretch across decades, lenders profit more. More credit is extended, the machine keeps spinning. The same pattern repeats in insurance, energy, transportation, education. Systems designed so that the pressure never stops flowing downward and the money never stops flowing upward. These crises don't happen randomly. They regenerate. A self-feeding engine, a loop you can't outrun, because it speeds up the moment you get closer to escaping. This isn't a flaw. It's working exactly as designed, and the people suffering inside the machine are the ones who were told the machine was built for them. This isn't just happening to people, it's happening to America. The first place the machine shows its damage is in the lives of ordinary Americans. People delay marriage, not because they don't want a family, but because they literally can't afford one. They have fewer kids, not by choice, but because raising a child feels like taking on a second mortgage. Mental health collapses. The stress is constant, heavy, unrelenting, a background pressure that never turns off. Every decision becomes a calculation. Every month becomes a survival test. Every unexpected expense becomes a threat. And emergency savings? For millions of Americans, they simply do not exist. Not because they're careless, but because every dollar is already eaten before it arrives. People aren't living, they're bracing. But the damage doesn't stop with individuals. It spreads outward, into neighborhoods, cities, entire regions. Small businesses close. Main streets go dark. The places that once held communities together become empty shells. Homelessness spikes, not because people suddenly became irresponsible, but because the math of modern America no longer works for the average person. Cities decline. Infrastructure crumbles. Public spaces feel less safe, less stable, less alive. Car dependency rises. Not because people prefer it, but because cities were built around profit, not people. Families break apart under financial pressure, not because of lack of love, but because no relationship can survive constant economic fire. Communities become fragile. Trust erodes. People stop believing in each other because they barely have enough energy to survive themselves. And eventually, the damage reaches a level no society can ignore. Productivity falls because people who are exhausted cannot innovate, create, or dream. Consumer confidence collapses because everyone is one bad week away from catastrophe. Social trust declines. Neighbors turn inward. Institutions lose legitimacy, and the idea of a shared future starts to fracture. Political polarization explodes, not because people hate each other, but because the economic ground beneath them is no longer stable. A country cannot stay united when its people are fighting for oxygen, and a nation cannot grow when every system inside it drains more than it gives. A country that runs on debt can't build a future, not for its families, not for its communities, not for itself. And the longer this machine runs, the more America becomes a place where survival replaces possibility, and hope becomes something people remember, not something they expect. This isn't motivation, it's clarity. Here's the truth most people never hear. It's not that people failed, it's that the system succeeded, just in the wrong direction. You weren't supposed to keep up. You weren't supposed to win the game, because the game wasn't built for you. It was built around you. Your effort was never the problem. Your discipline was never the problem. Your choices were never the problem. The problem is a system that turns your life into fuel, into revenue, into data points on someone else's balance sheet. And once you see that, everything starts to make sense. Not in a comforting way, but in a clarifying one. There are paths people are taking. Not perfect paths, not easy paths, but real ones. Some choose community colleges, cheaper, practical, grounded in reality. Some go into no-degree careers, trades, certifications, skills that don't require debt to prove their worth. Some build unions, not because it's trendy, but because collective power is the only power ordinary people can still afford. Some fight for public options, in healthcare, in education, in transportation, systems that treat people as humans, not customers. Some move toward cooperative housing, shared ownership, shared cost, shared stability. Some push for local reforms, city by city, block by block, because waiting for national change feels like waiting for a storm to turn around. These aren't silver bullets. They don't fix everything. They don't undo decades of damage, but they are proofs. Proofs that a different direction exists, even inside a system built to resist change. And here's the part that matters most. This is not normal, and it wasn't inevitable. The way America works today wasn't destiny, it was design. And if something was designed, it can be redesigned. Now you see it. What you do next is up to you. Not as a warning, not as advice, but as recognition that awareness is the first break in the machine. When you see the system clearly, you stop blaming yourself. You stop accepting the script. You stop believing the story, that everything is your fault. And in a country built on the stories people believe, that shift, that one shift, is enough to change the trajectory of a generation. Slow music fades in, city lights dim, America's skyline flickers between prosperity and decay. Charts rise, wages flatten, debt spirals, neighborhoods fade, people endure. The truth settles in. Quiet, heavy, undeniable. Then silence. A single frame. A person standing in the middle of a wide, empty street, looking at a future that finally makes sense. Not because it's brighter, but because it's visible. Fade to black.